just finished ripping these pieces to, I'm going to call it rough width because they're a little bit fatter than 2 1/4. But I want to give you an idea of what's going on here. So this dimension here is, a fat 2 1/4. But if I were to rotate this up and use it up on top, had I cut them all the same, and I put this board up here, this dimension right here now becomes 2 inches because of the angled cut. That's why these boards had to be cut wider to accommodate for that angle. Now my reveal here is 2 1/4, and it'll look right compared to this one. Okay, so that's what's going on there. Now I need to crop the ends here, and that's going to be kind of a touchy thing to get the correct dimension there. I'll figure it out though. So, one end can be cut, and then we're just going to have to figure out the length. And what I've decided to do here is, if I can show you the rest of this, is that I'm going to put in 2 dividers. I'm going to divide this into 3 panels. So I'll have two styles going here, and 3 panels in the middle. I don't like the idea of just one here, so I'm gonna divide it up into 3 this way, and then cut my interior styles to fit. And then I think I can glue up this panel, that panel, these, and then attach everything together and drop my middle piece, or my top piece, into the opening. So let me get busy and try and figure out the cut lengths here. Okay, the top board is going to be a lot easier to figure out than the bottom one, because I can use this as my story stick. So I'm going to take, what I did was I took and leaned up my end caps on here, made a mark, and went down to the other end, did the same thing. So I've got a mark here and here, and then this will be my measurement. I'll measure the short side of the angle. So if I take my tape here, let me get this back over this way. I take my tape and measure this. And put this on the 1 inch mark down here at the end. About right there. It's going to be 44 inches. Just about 44 inches, right on the nuts. So I'm going to go with 44. And if I'm a little short, that'd be good. I'd rather be a little short than long, because if I'm long, this thing will want to fall through, or catch late, and I want it to catch early, if anything. So I'm going to go 44. Let me just measure it from this way once. Put this on the 2 inch mark this time. Yeah, I don't want to go 44. I want to go about 43 and 7/8. Yeah. 43 and 7/8. Let me try something else here. There's times when you need to use a rigid ruler, and this is one of those times. You can see that I've got this set, and it's 43 and 7/8. So I might even cut it just a little shy of that, but that's what I'm going to go with. And the important thing is that they both end up being the same dimension. I've got my inside piece turned over, so the top is on the top of my bench here. I went and cut the one end here at 25 degrees. And I've got this pinned down as best I can. I got a couple of rapid action clamps on it, and this is pinned this way. And when I put this up here, you can see that I'm very open. So the angle is more like 23 probably. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go up and look at my computer model. I can't get that thing to lay down in there. There we go. Yeah, I can't do it. So I'm going to go take a look at my computer model and see what this, you know, if it says it's supposed to be 25, that's one thing. And you know, what it is something else. So I can't see that I can change anything except the angle. It's tight here, it looks good. Well, I'm going to like the fit once I get the angle correct. And then I've got to figure that the other one is exactly the exact same as this one. So let me go up and take a look at that, and then we'll come back and recut this. All right, after checking my drawing upstairs and on my computer, the angle is 23. So I cut it at 23, and you can see that it fits just about perfectly. Now, the reason I'm a little open here is because of the pressure this clamp puts on. If I take the pressure off of that and let it relax to where it should be, I get a nice fit. So I took this dimension, put it on my sliding T-bevel. I've got a mark down at the other end. I'm gonna mark that and make that cut in the opposite direction, and then we'll see how things fit together here. But what I do want to do is make sure that this piece is the exact same length as the other side, and then if I have to massage anything, it'll be this piece right here. So let me make that mark, make the cut, and then come back. This worked out pretty well. What I've got here is I've got it flipped on its side. This is the top now and flaring out to the bottom. And I've got this middle board, because of the angle, it wants to push back this way when you clamp it. So I've got these pieces in here to keep that from happening. And then with the Festool clamps, adjustable table clamps here on the outside, they can meet this angle and push against it, and it's just great. So I've got this flushed up right there, and the other end should be flushed up as well. Okay. So that's good and solid, and it's not moving. This allows me the ability to get underneath this now and make a mark on this side. Now, unfortunately, from the time that I milled this lumber up to the day I'm using it, I've developed a little bit of a twist here, but I'm just going to have to live with that and make it work. So the one thing I want to be sure of when I make this mark is that this corner or this edge and this edge are in the same plane. So I took a block here and bring it, about perpendicular. That's right there. I'm going to cheat a little bit. But I can make this mark here. And I've got one made on the other end. And then we can cut it. But what I want to do is cut it a bit long and, kind of sneak up on that, on this fit. So let me make a couple cuts and I'll come back and we'll see how it looks. The angle is good. I like the angle. It's nice tight joint there on both ends. I'm about a 1/16 of an inch proud here on this, on both ends, I believe. Yeah. So I'm going to take just a little bit more off of this. See if I can't sneak it up in here. I can always plane this flush, but the less I have to do of that, the better I'll be. Boy, that twist is really affecting things here. I'm gonna just have to deal with it. What I think I'm gonna have to end up doing with these is putting a pocket screw in here. I really don't see any other way around it. I guess I could dowel it, I suppose, too. Yeah, that might be a better option. But for now, let me see if I can get this snugged up a little bit. I'm going to take just a bit off. I got a mark here somewhere, yeah. So there's my original marked line. I'll try and cut to that and see what happens. Well, I'll be honest with you, I can't do any better than that. That's going to be a nice joint. So I've got to get rid of that little bit of twist in the board, but I'll work with that. So I've got two pieces that are exactly the same. I just got to figure out now where I want to lay out my dividers. So I've got to come up with some dimension here. I think what I'll do is I'll measure it from this side, measure it from this board here, this rail, and then divide it into thirds. Yeah. So let me do a little math on that. I'm going to contemplate what I want to do here. Whether I want to use like a Kreg screw in through here or dowels. Anyway, it's coming along nicely so far. Making the measurement from these two inside corners here, it ended up being 117 millimeters. Or 117 centimeters, sorry. So divide that by 3 and it's 39 centimeters. Measured here and here, and this is within a fraction of a centimeter of being right on the money. It's half a millimeter. So that's my measurement to divide this, and then I just took my tri-square, butted it up against this edge, and scribed a line on both pieces. You saw that move, but I made sure that everything was locked into place like that. Right there. So that's my center line, and I've got the other one drawn down as well. Now measuring this distance, it's almost dead on 4 1/4. I mean, it's so close that's why I'm going to cut them. 4 1/4 and run with that. So I got to cut 2 or 4 of these and make them 2 1/4 inches wide. So that'll be 1 1/8 on either side of the center line. That'll be good to go on that department. I'm still thinking about how I'm going to do this, but I'll mull that over. Four and a quarter, right on the money. So you can see I got some center lines marked here. That's how I'll line these two up. And then I'll run a couple dowels in here. I'm debating whether to use dowels or loose tenons, but either way I'll get it to go. Before I do that though, I've got to route in here my grooves for my panels, and then I'll be good to go. So far so good. I like the way it's turning out. The one thing I am going to have to do here is I won't be able to use screws, because if I put them in the ends down here, zoom this out a little, you know, you'll see those from underneath. I don't want that. I don't want those screws to be seen. So you know, dowels in here, or loose tenons. Same thing here. It's going to have to be dowels because I want to hide those joints. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to dowel these first so that I can have something to hold it together, and then I'll work on these. So let me get all that done and then I'll come back. I really like this jig. So what I'm lining up with is the outside face and the sharp edge. And I'll do the same thing on the other piece. And I'm just putting this out here to where I can feel that corner just barely. Right there. Well, that one's tight. I don't want to use that one just now. There we go. Now I take the other component and I'm using this one. I can lay down here. Which way do I need to go here? Let's see. So this piece is going to come in here like this. So I want to register on this face and this corner. So I take my jig, bring it up to the edge here. Right like that. And you'll notice that I've got a 3/8 guide here and the rest are 1/4 inch. This way I know I'm using the jig in the right way, because on the rail I was registering off of the 3/8 side, and on this part, on the style, I'm registering off of the 1/4 inch side. So each time I use it, I know that I've got it oriented in the correct manner by that little reminder there. Okay, I think I like that. Just eyeballing that corner. Nope, I gotta come over a little bit. It's a little bit tricky using this way, but just cover that corner right there. Okay, so now if I go back, let's see, this way. And there you have it. It's going to work out great. No visible fasteners. I'll get these two drilled up here on top. And it'll be a nice fit. This is nice and flush. I like that. Those dowels help take the twist out of it. And it's looking good. Okay, more of the same. Dowels, marking, drilling holes, putting it together. I'll come back when I've got hopefully one shade put together.